I'm R. Sucharita from the Department of English, Government Degree College, Karatabad, Hyderabad. Today I'm going to present the first poem of life from our English textbook of BA, BSc, BCom second year. Poem Life, Charlotte Bronte. Pre-reading activity. We are going to do the pre-reading activity. So I'm going to put you some questions. I'm going to put you some I'm going to put you some questions and you have to answer them. Can you recall some happy moments of your life and some unhappy ones?
Yeah, when I got good marks in my examination, I think they're the most happy moments in my life.
We cannot have only successes in life. Sometimes we have to face disappointments too. What should be our attitude towards failure?
We have to be positive towards failures as failures are the only stepping stones to success.
How should we face adversity?
With patience, courage, and pleasantness.
When something unfortunate happens to us, how do we regain our balance? What helps us get our composure back?
By meeting our best friends and sharing with them and visiting some sightseeing places.
Life presents both opportunities and challenges. How do you think we should respond to the challenges?
We have to face the challenges with courage, I guess. Yeah.
Sometimes we are troubled by negative thoughts and emotions. What should we do to overcome such thoughts and feelings?
Listening to music, watching comedy things in phone, or making ourselves buddy with some kind of activities.
Depression is a common but serious mood disorder. Find out its symptoms, causes, and cures.
When we don't reach what we desire, when our loved ones passes away, that's the most depressing thing.
Okay, good. Now we are going to learn about the author. The author is Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte Bronte, she was born in the year 1865 to 1855, was a 19th century English writer whose novel Jane Eyre 1847 is considered a classic of Western literature. She was the eldest of the three Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Annie, who survived into adulthood and went on to publish novels. Charlotte Bronte, like many women writers of her time, originally published her poems and novels, including Jane Eyre, under a male pseudonym, pen name Carvel. So, regarding Charlotte Bronte, she was born in the year 1816 and she passed away in 1855. She belonged to the 19th century and she is an English writer whose novel, which is called as Jane Eyre, it was in 1847 and it was considered a classic of Western literature. She was the eldest of all these three Bronte sisters, that is, Charlotte, Emily, and Annie, who survived into adulthood. Charlotte survived into adulthood and went on to publish novels. Charlotte Bronte, like many women writers of her time, originally published her poems and novels, including Jane Eyre, under a male pseudonym. Pseudonym means it is a pen name. which is called Carer Bell. Now we are going to learn about the glossary. Glossary is the meanings. Sage. Who is a sage? A sage is a wise person. For example, you can say Valmiki. He was a sage. Then oft, O F T, oft. Oft means it is often, often, very often we say. So that is the meaning of often. Very often I went to my neighborhood. Then foretell. Foretell means to say what is going to happen or predict. Now, what is going to happen in the future, we do not know. But some people who are very uh, close to God, something like prophets, they will be foretelling what is going to happen in the future. That is called as foretell. Then gloom. Gloom means it is darkness. Darkness means a feeling of unhappiness. For example, if you get very less marks or if you fail in the examination, you are gloomy. You are in the state of gloominess, that is darkness. You are unhappy. That is called as gloom. Then the next word is transient. Transient means it is temporary, or we can say momentary, temporary. For example, life is temporary. We don't know what happens the next moment or the next hour. We don't know. So that is called as transient. Then the next word is bloom. Bloom means to open, mature, or blossom. We say the flowers are blooming. So we should also come to the state of that maturity. Our lives should blossom. The state of being matured is called as bloom. Then the next word is lament. Lament means it is cry or weep. When do you cry? When do you weep? The best example is when you have lost your dear ones. You will be weeping and you will be crying. You are so sad. It's called lament. Then the next word is merry. Happiness, cheerfulness. If you are the topper of the college, or if you have reached what you have desired in your life, then you will be in the state of merriness or happiness. Or the best example is of festivals. Being in a festival mode, we say. That means it is happiness. Sunny. Sunny is bright or cheerful. We say you're looking very sunny. You're looking very bright or cheerful. Then the next word is flit. Flit means to fly or to pass away quickly or abruptly. Passing away very quickly or abruptly. For example, time flits away or time passes away very quickly or it flies away very quickly. That is called as flit. Then sway. Sway is control, influence. We have something in our hands to control. That means we can control our time by making it to the best use of time. Redeeming your time is called as control. Then unconquered means undefeated. Conquering is being victorious. Okay, so defeat means It is something like a failure, undefeated. Throughout all my study years, I passed, you see. That means I was undefeated, is unconquered. Then buoyant, able to float or rise to the surface of a liquid, or resilient is called as buoyant. Whatever problems or difficulties you may have in your life, but you have to float and rise to the surface of a liquid. A picture is also shown. The next word is manfully. Manfully means courageously with determination. So he is manful, we say. That means he is courageous, very brave, is called as courageously or manfully. Then quell. Quell means it is to stop or to suppress or to crush something, is called as quell. The last word is despair. Despair means to lose hope. To lose hope means I have done a lot. I did my best, but I am in despair. That means I lost my hope, or to lose hope is called as despair. Now we are going to see about the poem. A little gist of the poem, or you can say a very little summary about the poem. So, the poem focuses on the realities of life and reminds us that we have to face moments of joy as well as sorrow, hope as well as despair in life. So, this poem, Life, it is focusing on the realities of life. That means there is a mixture of joy and sorrow in our life. Life is a mingled yarn of joys and sorrows. So that is called as a reality of life, and it reminds us that we have to face moments of joy as well as sorrow. For example, pain and pleasure go together, or where there is pain, there is pleasure. So there is a mixture of joy as well as sorrow in our life. Hope as well as despair in our life. There is hope in our life and there is despair. Losing hope is also there. There is a mixture, there is a mingling. Amavasya chikatlu, we say in Telugu. Punnami Amavasya, we say. So there is a mixture. However, the poet urges us to have a positive attitude. Whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the difficult situation in our life, we should have a positive attitude and we should never be disheartened by these temporary setbacks, because life is temporary and all these difficulties are also temporary in our life. It is a temporary setback. So she encourages, Charlotte Bronte, she encourages us to look beyond the immediate disappointments and appreciate the pleasures life has to offer. So, what is Charlotte Bronte telling us? You have to look beyond the immediate disappointment. So, there are discouragements in our life, there are disappointments in our life, and you have to overcome them. You have to look beyond them and you have to appreciate the pleasures life has to offer. What are the pleasures? There are not only disappointments or discouragements in our life, but equally, God has granted us pleasures too in our life. So she asserts that in the battle between hope and despair, although despair may seem more powerful initially, it is hope that will win eventually. So she asserts means it is, she believes confidently that this is the battle between hope and despair. Having hope confidently and having despair also at the same time, losing, will I get it or not? Although despair may seem more power initially, it is hope that will win eventually. So as human beings, we ought to be manful, we ought to be courageous, and we should have that strong determination of hope that will win. It is going to, if you have that strong hope in your life, then you are going to be the winner eventually. Eventually means in the end. In the end, this hope will win in your life. So in the next lesson, we are going to learn the summary of this poem Life, which is written by Charlotte Bronte. So thank you for your cooperation.